Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, Daughter of Increase. My name is Nathan. For those of you who are new to the channel or who just happen to stumble across this video, and I'm the founder and CEO of Daughter of Increase Ministries, that is DOI Ministries. And here on this channel, I help you guys to increase in your faith and relationship with God and Christ through Bible studies, book reviews, discussions, and more. And I do that by posting twice a week, every Wednesday and Saturday. So if you have not done so already, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, to join the sisterhood and family over here, to click the bell to stay notified of when I post a new video, and to like this video. And as you can tell from the top down view, I am finally coming back with my year plus update on the Rakuten Kobo / my review. And I know many people have watched my first video and have commented, and I've seen you guys' comments. I don't know how to get any information as far as like updating certain things. I'll try to find any links I can and post them down below. But everything in that first video, I still stand towards. I still love my Kobo. It has been absolutely a joy and a delight to use. And it's been one of the ways I've honestly been reading a lot more library books, but we'll get into that. So let's just start off with the Kobo. I do have the white Kobo Libra color, and I love her so much. I do have her in a sleep cover from Rakuten Kobo. This is the sleep cover with stylus. I originally had the clear one from Rakuten Kobo. I'm not sure if you're going to see the name on it right here, but I originally had the clear one from Rakuten Kobo. It was great. I had my stickers, my background, a MagSafe ring, a pin loop, and then I also had the little hand charm. I still plan to use this, but I was going on vacation with my husband, and so I decided to get this because I was throwing it in my purse, and it was kind of getting scratched up, so I just got this. I will say, before I got the actual Kobo pencil, the second one, I don't know what it's called, I'll put it on the screen. I was using just a regular old stylus that works for the Windows Surface kind of tablet and things like that. It worked well, it was great, and it was the only one that I could find in white. And so I found this through TikTok. Somebody had mentioned it on TikTok, shared the link, and I went and found it. It was the Traxy one, but I'm not sure if they have this one in white. They probably have it in like silver and black, but finding a white one is hard. So I was super happy when Kobo actually came out with the white one. And so yeah, I'll show you guys that in a second. And just attached here, I just have this little like dust plug here with a purple flower and a pearl. Simple, nothing crazy. I love the sleep cover because it is magnetic across the board. So when I open this, it's going to open up everything. Let me close that really quick. It snaps, and so I don't have to worry about it like coming off. Hopefully you guys can see this. I don't have to worry about it because it honestly snaps right to it, and it's easy to hold in the hand. But as you can see, usually I have wallpaper screensavers on here. I have a bunch, but I opted to just go back to using the book. Typically, I do not have this thing here. I did not like it at first, but because I'm trying to get back to reading more books like I used to, I like seeing how much of the book I read and how far I have to go. Or if it's a library book, it will tell you how soon the library book goes back. But like I said, this is the Kobo stylus, the actual Kobo stylus, the second one. Like I said, I'll put on the screen exactly the name of it. But yeah, I really like this stylus a lot. It has worked great. It is a little smoother than like a regular plain old one that I got off of Amazon. But if you can get a dupe off Amazon, I would say do that. You know, this one had the two buttons where you would highlight with one and erase with the bottom. This one is you highlight with the button and you erase with the tip of the back of the pen, and you write with the front. So I like the stylus. I have updated my Kobo, obviously. I let it update all the time. And so I do have the function where you can turn it on with the actual buttons, which I love. I turned my brightness all the way to 100. So you guys can see, so my brightness is on 100. Natural light is probably on 5%. Don't really know. But yeah, so at the top, you have your time. You have your brightness controls, your Wi-Fi control, your battery. So right now, my e-reader is on 80%. My stylus is okay. You have your notifications. I just have a notification about a manga that I need to actually get from the library, but I haven't even read the first 3 volumes, so I don't want to do that. You have your sync button here, and then your search button. Then at the top, you will get your 4 most current or recent reads. So these are obviously the 4 books that I have opened in the past couple of months. Like I said, I haven't read from my Kobo in a minute. So yeah. You then have your books here. You guys see how many I have. Listen, I love books. Okay. I have well over most likely 10,000 books total, including physical books and ebooks, because I love just reading. Here, you typically get one of your collections that goes in rotation. So current reads are right there. It says borrow ebooks from your public library Overdrive, and then view your public library holds from Overdrive. So at the bottom bar, I will say that I have modded my Kobo. So you are going to see an extra menu here, which I'll talk about. But we have home, then you have books, and in books, you have your books. You can do it by author, by series, or by collections, which is great. Sometimes I keep it in collections just so I know what I'm reading if I'm like reading certain things. And I have collections by genre, by age group, by culture. So it's just, dependent on how I'm feeling. Then you go into your My Notebooks, which is great if you are into taking notes and writing. I really don't use it much. I let my son play in it. As you can see, he did. I'll just show you guys. It may cut off for some reason. Sometimes I think because I modded my e-reader, as well as I have so many books and I'm running out of space. Sometimes it just shuts down. But this is what the notebook section looks like. You click the 3 dots here. You can change your background. And so I'm just going to go with the Cornell Narrow, exit out. And these are your pen options: ballpoint, fountain, calligraphy pen, brush pen, highlighters. If you do the brush pens, these are all the colors you have. If you do highlighters, these are the colors you have. Same with the fountain pens. So like I said, I'm not sure if this is going to cut off or not, but you have that there. If I want to lasso it and move it, I could. Or we can convert it. It's probably not going to convert because I didn't write nothing. Oh, did it freeze? Hold on. Oh, no, it did not freeze. So I don't know. Let's go back. You can erase if you want, or you could just use the back of your pen and just erase. So, I mean, I don't really know what to show with this. It's not much. There's a basic notebook, and then you can also do an advanced notebook that converts handwriting into type. It supports adding freeform sections, diagrams, and equations. So I'm really not going to show that. If you want to see that, you can go find another. I'll try to link videos if you want like a full-blown like review that's fully into the technicalities and stuff like that. I don't use a notebook section, honestly. I should, but like I said, mine was crashing at one point. I think because of the recent update, it's not crashing. So we'll see. I may come back and do like a little update at the end of the year. But you have your Discover section, which you can look through their store. They have Kobo Plus, which is similar to Kindle Unlimited, but I will say Kindle Unlimited has a lot more options. One, because Kindle has been around, and two, because Kindle actually locks people into that sort of ecosystem author-wise, unless you're like from a mainstream. But if you're indie, you're pretty much locked into that system. But it's not overloading you on buying books. They actually prefer you, as you can see, to borrow books from your library, which I love about Kobo. So you have a search bar here. You can search by title, author, series, or ISBN. Here is your recommended section. Here is your wish list section, your daily ebook deal, top picks categories, and all of that. Sorry about that, guys. My family did come into the room, and also I wanted to zoom in so you guys could see a little bit better. So like I said, top picks categories. Oh, it's scanning for networks. Hold on, let it connect to my Wi-Fi. I call it Wi-Fi. I know it's Wi-Fi. But yeah, and then as you scroll down, you'll get ebook categories. I'm not sure why mine is bugging out right now. There we go. So you'll just get some categories, which I think these are the categories that I actually favorited on the website. Not really sure. You'll have the recently viewed. So these are ebooks and stuff that I actually borrowed and viewed from them. And you'll just get different things. Top 50, similar to when you had Power. Ooh, okay. These are the same author, so I'm gonna have to check those out. But yeah, you can also do audiobooks directly from here, which is great. Same sort of setup. Your top 50 new and hot, blah blah blah. And then you go straight into Kobo Plus. Now I had Kobo Plus at the beginning as a 30-day trial. And I actually do like Kobo Plus. And I'm going to say this off the bat. If you have a Kindle and you are used to the Kindle ecosystem, you're not going to really enjoy the Kobo Plus store because it's not a lot of indie authors that you're used to. However, as a Christian, and keep in mind, I am a Christian content creator, as a Christian woman, I think the Kobo Plus is where it's at. I'm going to just say that because I have found so many ebooks and audiobooks of Christian books that I've been wanting to read and get my hands on that are available. But here you have your Kobo Plus recommendations, new and hot in Kobo Plus. I could use my buttons. Also, you have Kobo Plus audio. So I pay for the Kobo Plus subscription that has audiobooks and ebooks, and it's like $9.99. I think if you just want the ebooks, it's $7.99. It's not a lot. It's honestly, the pricing is way better than Kindle Unlimited, I shall say. I have both subscription services, which is why I'm comparing the two. But I'm going to preface this by saying Kobo and Kindle are two different ecosystems, two different stores, two different sort of e-readers that you really can't compare because Kindle is obviously well known and been around for years, and they have done so much with the market. But I will say Kobo is absolutely amazing. But again, you have different genres that they'll go through here. They have originals, which I do enjoy. And then you have the overdrive option. Now, typically, you can only do one library card on the Kobo. However, I watched a video from a young lady, and if I can find it, I will leave it in the cards, where she basically not tricked it, but found a way to still access all of your library cards through the actual Overdrive website itself. And she shows you how to sign up and how to connect your actual library card to your actual Overdrive account. So typically when you log on, you are logging into a library card. But when you choose to log on the Kobo, log in through Overdrive. That way, all of your library cards are connected to your Overdrive account. And so when you want to borrow a book through Libby, it can be sent directly to your Kobo. And I'm just going to say it's been amazing. And so you have your holds here, recently on NPR, and then just other books, Reba's Pride, Beach Read, You Turn My Pages, trending on BookTok, Caribbean American Heritage, and things like that. They have different categories and stuff like that. Now, I will say, if you're looking for a book, you need to know the name of the book immediately because this is not that intuitive. And so it's best to just hit the search bar, and you can look in the Kobo store, you can look in Overdrive, your books, articles, your current reads, annotations, dictionaries, whatever the case may be. But I will say, my favorite thing about this is Overdrive for sure. So then you go to more, and you have your wish list. So all the books that I've ever wish list on Kobo are going to be found here. And so we have these. And if it says read now, that means I have it through Kobo Plus. And so, yeah, so we have these here, and you can filter. So I'm going to, okay, let's go. So I have 87 here total, and 6 of them are available through Kobo Plus, which is great. And so that's just your wish list. I mean, it's nothing special. You can connect your Dropbox to this. You can connect your Google Drive. And I do connect my Google Drive in order to get my reading journals and stuff like that on here. So you have my articles. If you connect to the Pocket app, I've done that. And so there are some articles on here that I still need to read that I have not read since I got this thing. Activity is one of my favorite things. So I will say, on the Kindle app on the phone, there is the whole reading challenges and the bookmarks that you can get, and keeping up with your streaks and stuff like that. I like that aspect, but for some reason it is not on the Kindle. I think that is the dumbest thing that they could have done. I think that Kindle, Amazon as a company, needs to integrate that somehow onto the actual Kindle product and not just on the Kindle app. But I digress. This is where you get your reading stats. Okay, so you can get your reading stats on the book that you're currently reading. So obviously, book progress, about 2 hours to go. The current chapter is 0%, and about how many seconds to go with that chapter. It tells you how many hours of reading. So 2.1, average minutes per session, your average pages per minute. And then this is just all items. So this top portion is for the book that you're reading. And then for the bottom portion, it is just overall general stats. So 2% of all of my books have been finished because I constantly add books to this thing. I have finished 63 books on here, and I have a total of 136.8 hours of reading. It would have been more, but I still do use my Kindle. I use my Kindle app on my phone. And so, yeah, they also have My Words. And I like their use of My Words better than Kindle, because with Kindle, if you accidentally highlight a word, it automatically gets saved into your definitions. I don't like that. With this one, you have to actually decide if you want it. And I'll get into that and all of that. But you guys can see I have 8 pages of just words on here that I didn't know what they was about whatsoever. So, and it tells you from like which book that you got it from. So you'll get your definition here. Then it says where it's from, and then it tells you added from the book that wouldn't burn, and that was actually from Mark Lawrence. I actually need to read the sequel, and you can actually view it in the book. So I do, like I said, like it. I do still think that Kindle has a better sort of setup, just a little, but I like the ease of use with this. Honestly, it is what it is. Going back to more, you have beta features, and with beta features, you can use a web browser, you can go into large print mode, there's a sketch pad. This is where you activate the My Words activity portion. So it is technically not activated, you have to activate it. And then there's a sandbox. I've never honestly really used it. Going into your settings, this is where you do accounts, overdrive, and stuff like that. So overdrive, like I said, this is my name, and it's connected to Overdrive, and Overdrive is currently using my Brooklyn Public Library card. However, if I'm using my New York Public Library card or my East Orange one, I still get the books because it's connected directly to Overdrive, which is great. So yeah, some of this stuff will be blurred out anyway. You have your date and time, your language and dictionaries, your Wi-Fi connections, your Bluetooth connections, syncing and updates, energy saving, and privacy. And so right here is where you can change some things. So your energy saving, when it automatically goes to sleep, your power off. I never really power off my e-reader. I'll be honest, I never desire to. How you can wake up with the page turn buttons, show your current read, show book covers full screen, show info panel. And so info panel would basically be that little section, trying to do this one-handed, where that little flag will show up. And so I keep it there. So when I click it back on, all right, now let's go. It's there. Okay. So that's what that is. I usually would have it off, but like I said, I've recently just been enjoying the use of it. And with the sleep cover, you can automatically sleep and wake up your device if you choose to. Then you can put a pin if you want. Show list of recently viewed in ebooks. So I honestly might turn that off because I don't need to see the books that I recently viewed, especially if I have them on Kobo Plus. So yeah. And then you have, I went through the settings, right? You have your reading settings. And so this is where I believe you change your button. So defaulted, this will be previous and this is next. But when I'm holding it, I typically do not reach for the bottom button to change pages. So I just inverted it. You can also change how your header and footer looks. So in the header, you can have time left in chapter, percent of the chapter read, pages left in chapter. I like looking at the time in chapter, though I will say when you change the font, that can change. So percent of the chapter might be better. Okay. Same thing with the footer. You can do pages left in the book, percent of the book, time remaining in the book. There's a progress bar that runs along the bottom. At first I didn't like it, but I do keep it on. How you refresh the screen. So I do it every chapter because I don't really like the jarring of like the screen flashing. I don't like that. If you use Adobe EPUB pages, you can have that showing. You can do dark mode, which dark mode is not that great, I will say, but I think that's just across the board with color e-readers in general. They cannot make the whole device black because of the color ink technology. You can reduce the rainbow effect. I have that on. And then you can change how like your pinch to zoom and all of that is. I will say if you're using a pen to annotate, where it says page forward and back, put swiping only. Make sure it does not say tapping and swiping, because when you're accidentally leaning on that page to write, your page will turn. So yeah, we have that. And so moving to NickelMenu. So NickelMenu is basically a way to mod your device. You can easily do USB connections, easily shut down, reboot, and all that stuff. At the beginning, I had so many options, but I have since taken a lot of those options off. I really use NickelMenu for the screensaver toggle. And so I'm going to click screensaver toggle. It says wallpaper mode. And so now when I turn it off, you will see my various wallpapers that I have. And I have a bunch that I keep on here. So I have a lot of faith-related ones now. I know at the beginning I just had some pretty ones. All my faith-related ones are coming on. But now you'll see that there's Gojo. I'm an anime girl, if you guys didn't know. But so yeah, that's what that looks like. But I'll leave it on for now. So let's just go into a book, and I'm gonna pick a random book because I don't want to pick a book that I'm actually reading. So let's go to my books, and we're gonna pick a random book. Oh, first, before I do that, Kobo Plus. Let me just show you guys how amazing Kobo Plus is. Okay, I have 296 books out from Kobo Plus, y'all. Do y'all see that? And I'm not lying. Y'all see it, right? 296. Amazon could never. Okay, Kindle Unlimited could never. You can only get 20 books through Kindle Unlimited. And if you have Audible, depending on the price that you're paying for your credits, you can only get 1 to maybe, I think, 3 or 2 Audible books. Come on, y'all. 296, y'all. That is insane. Absolutely insane. And out of the 296, 119 are audiobooks. Audiobooks, y'all. And again, this is as a believer. I think this is tea. Y'all, I watch Grace for Purpose on YouTube. That's an actual channel. I'll leave it linked in the cards. I watch their prayers every morning, and I do it to start my morning before I get up to pray, because sometimes I'll just be out of it, right? The book I wanted to purchase, they had it on Kobo Plus. Everyday Gospel. Y'all know I'm currently doing the Everyday Gospel Bible from Crossway with Paul David Tripp. They have the devotional. So sometimes I don't want to just read it myself. I want to hear Paul David Tripp reading it right there. I just got these mangas because I'm trying to get more into my manga era. Yeah, I have some fantasies that I want to try, like Priscilla Shire, Radiant. Come on now. Really? Holier Than Thou by Jackie Hill Perry and her husband's book. Right now, my e-reader is having a little bit of ghosting or burning, whatever you call it. I don't really know. Hopefully you guys can see, like, over Preston Perry's book, it says dark. So yeah, it went away. So like, yeah, I really, Miles Monroe, lots of his books. Like I said, I have the audiobook and the ebook for Priscilla Shire. More Surrender All. I mean, y'all, as a Christian, I think this is Chaos Grid. I know that that's a Christian sci-fi. So I have the ebook and the audiobook ready to go. Just some books that I really want to get into. The Shogun Part 1 and Part 2. I want to watch the series, but we don't know. Yeah, Frank Peretti. There's a lot of Frank Peretti and Ted Dekker. Obviously, I have some regular basic like romances, but I have a lot of faith-based books. Lots of faith-based books. Which for me, I think that was like, yeah, I need it because I'm a Christian and I love reading Christian novels and Christian nonfiction. And so finding so many of these has been like, they have Tosca Lee books, y'all. Come on now. Ted Dekker, they have Lee Strobel, Jerry B. Jenkins. They have the War Room audiobook. This audiobook here, Letters Along the Way, because that's a book I'm going to be reading. It's similar to Screwtape Letters, but more on the faith base. Not Screwtape Letters. It's similar to Letters to Malcolm by C.S. Lewis, I think. This is an indie author that is on Kobo that I want to read. Colleen Cobble. Come on now. Like, Kim Cash Tate, y'all. Lynette Eason. I mean, there's so many. Like I said, Ted Dekker, lots of his books. I don't know if there's Jamie Jo Wright, but they definitely have Janice Cantor, and I do have 2 or 3 of her books. I do own Lethal Standoff. So like I said, a lot of these are audiobooks that I have gotten. They're not downloaded, which it has like the download button, because downloading all these books would just overload my system. But JC Vllo, right? They have the Biggest Story Bible storybook. Like, come on now. I could play that for my daughter and my son. When I say there's a lot of things on here, there are a lot. And it has been just amazing to be able to use it. Sorry again, guys, got interrupted. But yeah, like Evermore, Everless, books by K.S. Veloso. And I have some of her books that I haven't read. Y'all see I have some expositories on like the Gospels. I'm hitting the wrong button. But like, yeah, like this has honestly been amazing. I have a lot. Oh, I have some Robbie Renee on here, Terry Pratchett, Stephen McDonald's, a lot of manga, like I said, Dwight Moody. Some of these are already free, and a lot of these you can just get. I have some Ian Bounds, his prayer books, the Anna Travis series, definitely on here. We love it. Beverly Jenkins, Dane Ortland, gotta get those books. Like, baby girl is awake, so I'm gonna pause and I'll be right back. So yeah, it's quite a few books, like I said, on Kobo Plus. Okay, and so what I'm gonna do is we just gonna open up a book. All right. Okay, so because I don't want to just open up a book not knowing what the book is about, I don't know. We are going to open up. Do I have any of these downloaded? Well, I do want to show you guys what color looks like, obviously full blown. And so I'm going to open up Mythmakers. I actually finished this book, but here is just what that looks like with the color aspects. Mythmakers is basically about C.S. Lewis and J.R.R. Tolkien and their friendship and, artistry as writers. One thing I will say is that on the side, you can just turn down the brightness, turn it down, and then turn it back up. But, yeah, this probably wasn't the best one to show because it's not fully colorful, but, yeah. Let's go back, and we are just going to try to find a book. We are going to try to find a book. Because I don't want to open up a random book that has like some craziness. I'm going to open up the Chaos Grid. I have not read this book. All I know is that it is a Christian sci-fi. That's it. The Chaos Grid by Lindsay Llewellyn. So we're going to go ahead and turn these pages as quick as I can. As you can see, my font is very different, and that's one thing we're going to talk about is like fonts and everything. I will say that is where Kobo excels over Kindle. Their aspects for fonts, amazing. So I do have a custom font loaded on here, so we might as well just go through that right now. Okay, so at the top, this is your bar. You can go back to your books. This is where you pick your pen colors and size. So we're going to just pick purple for now. You can lock the rotation, so keep it in portrait, landscape, auto, rotate. This does rotate no matter what. So I'm going to put it on auto rotate so you guys can see what I mean. I do have a screen protector on here, so sometimes I have to press a little harder because my screen protector I think is a little bit too big. But as you can see, I have it right now this way. Typically, I honestly hold it on the other side like this and read, and then this is how I push the buttons to go forward and to go back. So going forward, going back. If I wanted to, I could read it this way. It would turn. I could read it this way. It will turn. So I love the auto rotate option, but I do keep it off because I don't typically read in landscape mode. Honestly, I don't. I just keep it in auto portrait so that if I'm laying down in bed, it will automatically just turn when I do that. Like I said, you can do the light on the side. Hold on. You can turn your brightness down on the side. You guys can see it's on 13. It's showing you right there how much brightness it is. So it's on 0 right now. And then to go up, you just slide on the left side, which I love that. It's easy to just turn it down. I don't have to go up here and click. So you can do your brightness over here with your natural lighting. So I'll get to this in a second. One of my favorite features. But here is the font section. And this right here, so right now my font is Rows of Sunflowers. Supplement 2. I don't really be knowing what the supplement 2 font means. Oh, if a character cannot be rendered by the main font selected, we try to render it using a supplemental. Okay, so you can click your supplemental font here, which I never really thought to do. But these are just some of the fonts that I've downloaded from like the font and other places you can get fonts from. Let's just make that my supplementary font, I guess. I don't know. Let's take that off. Okay. You can do your font size here. I'm not going to change it because the one thing I can't stand, and I think they need to fix, they probably can't, but hopefully sometime soon they can fix the idea that when you change the font in one book, it doesn't affect the next book. I know that that's probably wishful thinking, but I will say when you change your font sizes, it does mess up your annotation. So if you're an annotator, make sure when you first get your Kobo, you are picking the size that you want, the line spacing that you want, the margin that you want, the font that you want, because if you change that, everything will be changed. And I'll show you guys. But you can do your font sizing, your line spacing, your margins, your justifications, but there's also advanced options. So you can change the weight. And so this is before what it's like. And then I'm going to change the weight all the way up. It's a little darker. I'm not sure if you noticed that. If I go down, it'll be like that. If I change the font size, you can see what it looks like before. I'm going to hit revert to go back. I don't know why it's not doing it, but let's cancel that. So one thing I hear people complain about, you know what, we'll get to that. Let's finish this. Up top, you can see your analytics for the book. So in the chapter, how many minutes you have to go, how far you are with the chapters in the book total, the hours in the book, how long the next chapter is. I like that they focus on that because you're able to see how far you are in the book, how close you are, how, you know, if you want to keep reading, well, how many minutes is the next chapter? Let me see, check it, things like that. Then you can automatically get to your settings here for everything, like I said, as far as the header, footers, your buttons and all of that. And then you have your 3 dots here, which I like this. Okay, you have your wish list. If you want to wish list the book, write a review, view the details, reading stats, your my words, dark mode. I'll show you guys dark mode, but screenshots. I have screenshots from the NickelMenu, dictionaries, hints, tips, and all that great stuff. So if you want to do dark mode, you can click on that. And as you can see, the only thing on dark mode is the page. The interface itself is not dark mode because it's obviously color. I am not a fan of dark mode on here, so I don't use dark mode. So let's just get to writing. So I have it in purple with a nice thickness. So let's get some writing done. So hello, and this is why I say turn off that tapping, because if you tap on it, it'll change. The one thing I also don't like is that every time you write, it refreshes. So like, I don't know if you guys saw it refresh, but let me just write hello again. It refreshes. I don't like that. You can underline. That was terrible. Let me erase that. You can underline words. You can circle words. You can draw arrows. That was a terrible arrow, but it's all right for the purpose of this video. Like I said, I have a lot going on with my screensaver. Not my screen protector. Let's do green. This is, you just got to figure out your margin spacing and all that. I want to change my margin space, but let me just show you guys what happens if I do that. So you see I have my annotations. If I change my margins by 2, I went up by 2. All of my annotations have been moved. And now if you click on this little box here, oops, sorry, let's erase that. If I click this box here, it will open up and show me this markup was made with different font settings. And if I wanted to, I could simply revert to these settings and it will go back to how I had that. So that's why I say make sure you have your line spacing correct, your margins, your font size, your font style. I don't mind that it does that, but it can get kind of annoying to just see little boxes everywhere and marks. And yeah, I like to see this. So like I said, to erase, you just use the back and go across. Use the back, go across, and it erases the whole thing. So that's that. Moving to the highlights. So if I hold the button down, it will highlight. You tap it just to change the color. So if I want to do pink, blue, here is green, and then the yellow. Now, the one thing I will say is I wish that when you highlight it, it would automatically come up with the options to do the coloring change. You can do that when you use your finger, though, if I can get it to work right now. So like I said, my screen protector is stupid, and I went a little too far. So yeah, now it's not going to work. Of course, you can remove the highlight, add notes. Okay, quickly, after editing, I forgot to mention this. So going back, so I did some highlights, and what I was trying to mention about the highlights is that when you do use your finger, the color option pops up, but that does not happen when you are using your stylus. So I do like that. Also, with changing your fonts and margins and stuff, it does not affect your highlights. Your highlights are not affected when you change anything. It's only your annotations that get affected, okay? So yeah, I just wanted to show that really quick. So if I wanted to add a note here, I could just click it, add note. You do have to type it out. So hello, and the note will be yellow. So cute. If I want to do a pink note here. So this is great if you're into color coding or just like making cute little notes. It'll be pink. Same thing with this blue and green. Great. Erase. Obviously, this is not going to erase because clearly I have notes. So you have to click it to open it, edit, and then I can just delete, save. There's no more note, erase. Okay, so when you do that, let me go back and just circle that, underline that, and then write hello at the bottom. That's terrible handwriting, I know. So at the bottom, so we got through the top bar. We're going to go through the bottom bar. You have your chapters here, and then you have this little notebook section and a magnifying. Click the notebook or the little paper, and it will show you all of your annotations, okay? So you can sort by location, sort by recent, and you can filter whether you just want to see your markups, whether you want to see your highlights, whether you want to see your notes or your bookmarks. Okay, so I do like that. You can click here and it will say export annotations. I do have something where I can export my annotations for myself, but yeah, so let's just delete all of this, go here, and if I wanted to I could just click the delete button, obviously. Continue. Great. All right, so this is the part that I was talking about with the my words. So say I wanted to do hatred. I'll tell you guys, my thing is just retarded. So gotta use my pinky. Hatred pops up, right? So it gives you the definition and stuff like that. You literally have to click add to my words for it to be in your words. Okay. Whereas on Kindle, if you highlight a word by accident, which I've done plenty of times, I've literally had accidental words of I, am, are, and I know the definitions of those words because I accidentally highlighted it. With this, that is not an option. You literally have to click add to my words, which I appreciate. I know people were talking about the whole X-ray system that Kindle has, where you can literally look up when a character was mentioned. And so I've never read this book, so I'm just scrolling through. Hopefully I'm not spoiling the book for anybody. I'm trying to find a character's name. All right, so here we have Aunt Marna. So I'm going to highlight Aunt Marna. It's going to pop up. You're going to click on search. Now, you can search in the book, Wikipedia, or Google. I'm going to do search in book. And then it is going to pop up Aunt Marna. How many times? Okay. So it tells you at 18% in chapter 1, 60% into chapter 6, 60% into chapter 9, 2% into chapter 10. So for people who I've seen mention that it does not, like, there's no X-ray option, there is. You just have to actually look and see. I do not really use this, but yeah. And it tells you like other books that it's possibly in, but I think that's pretty much it. My battery's on 70% now. Oh, let me scroll further ahead so that you guys can see what I mean with the progress bar. So I'm just going to this page. Okay. I don't know if you can see at the bottom, all the way here at the bottom, because I'm not 76% of the way through, the progress bar is going up. And if I go back some, I'm not 49% of the way through. I really like this. At first I didn't, and I was confused on like what it was, but I like it now. So I'm gonna go back to the beginning because I've not read this book, obviously. I just scrolled through it for the sake of the video. Go back to cover. We're there. And so what I like is that if I'm reading this and I want to go back to Myth Makers, I literally swipe down. There's this little line here at the top. You swipe down. Now it's not working. Swipe down and you can go back to your notebooks or your recent reads. So if I want to go to the notebook, I can go to the notebook, write a note. Cool. Swipe down, go to Myth Makers, do a little bit of reading in that book, right? Just to satisfy myself. And then go back if I wanted to Chaos Grid. And I want y'all to know it is not the e-reader bugging out. Like I said, I have a screen protector and I think it's a little too thick. So I need to get a new one. But I like that I can just easily flip through books. Whereas on a Kindle, you can't really do that. You have to exit the book and stuff like that. But that's just a personal like preference for me. But I think that is everything. If there's anything I'm missing, like I said, I can definitely do an update down the line. I will say, so like here, I can remove books. So like I can go here and mark as unread and it'll be removed because obviously it's unread. If I go here, I can mark this as finished and it'll send me to like a place to review it or whatever. I think I gave it like a 4 stars or something like that. I don't really remember. I enjoyed the art, but it was just very long-winded for me. And so I marked it as finished. I don't know why it's not marked as finished. Yeah, see, okay, there we go. It removed itself. And so, we have more books here. I'm just gonna, and even if I'm not done reading a book, I can just remove it from my home so that it's just not there. Okay. So I love it. I'm a big fan of this e-reader. If I forgot anything, please let me know. I will do an update on this video. As far as how to get the NickelMenu and all of that, everything I said in that previous video, I still stand by those links. I know that as far as like the screensaver situation, people were saying that the link was down. The young lady I follow, her video is still up, but I'm not really sure. So I will try to find a way to just take my file if I can and just put it onto like a Google Doc that you guys, not a Google Doc, but in Google Drive for you guys to download. Oh, also I forgot to mention, let me just open this. I don't know what this book is about, so I forgot to mention that I finally now have the option for my clock to be there. I know before I was clicking on my screen for the clock to pop up, but now my clock is there because I do have the actual thing configured correctly. In the previous video it was not configured correctly, so my clock is automatically there. I do like having the clock there. I don't find it a hassle to have to mod it to have the clock, but it would be nice if the clock was already like a basic thing. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that. But I don't think there's anything else to say. Like, I love my e-reader. It is amazing. I think I want the Clara color. The only problem is that the Clara does not come in white, which is a good thing because, like I said, I want to get it specifically for my kids because I do have my son getting back into reading. My son grew up reading, and then he got introduced to technology, and now he's a gamer and into technology. I want to get him back into reading. He is going to the 6th grade. I want to make sure that my daughter is a reader as well. And so it's not that I'm forcing them to read, but I prefer them to read more than they game. And so, yeah, I think that's it for the video, you guys. Like I said, if I forgot anything, just let me know. I do love my Kobo. It is amazing. It is one of the best purchases that I made, even though I did regret it at the beginning. But I say this as a Christian book nerd, a Christian and Bible nerd. This is definitely an asset and has helped me to up my reading as far as Christian fiction and Christian nonfiction books. Outside of that, again, I am doing this review as a Christian who uses this for Christian-based purposes, but I also obviously read my mangas and stuff like that as well. Do I recommend the Kobo Libra color? Absolutely. I have it in white. They offer it in black. They come with the stylus. You don't have to get the stylus. You can get a third-party one off of Amazon. Call it a day, but I do like it. If you don't want to annotate, then I believe the Kobo Clara color is a better option, but it does not come in white. However, you can get vinyls and skins and put it on there. But that is it for this video. As a Christian girly, I think the Kobo Libra color is great. I still use my Kindle, obviously, for Christian-based reads and stuff like that, but definitely the Kobo is where it's at. But I'm gonna go. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Again, if I mentioned or forgot to mention anything, please let me know, and I'll get back to you guys in the next video. If you made it to the end, post up whatever this emoji is so that I know that you watched, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.